Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you guys some natural remedies for when you get a cold. Because let's face it, being sick is not fun, but there's lots of natural things that you can do in order to get yourself better really fast and quick. So the first one is garlic, and garlic is great for your immune system. It has a natural compound called allicin in it, which really helps your immune cells fight off infection. But the key is to chop up some raw garlic and leave it for about 10-15 minutes so that the allicin can activate. It's through like the chopping, or if you want to crush a clove of garlic, that works too, that it gets activated. And so you need to let that sit and get activated before you consume it. And then you can just swallow the spoonful, and you don't have to chew it or anything because chewing raw garlic will be very spicy and intense. So I would suggest just swallowing the spoonful, following it with some water, and you can do that 2 or 3 times a day, and that's really going to help your immune system. Number 2 is probiotics. Now, if you don't know this, half of our immune system is actually in our gut, which means taking care of our gut is actually going to really help our immune system. And they've actually done studies to find that probiotics can be beneficial when you have things like a cold. Specifically, you're looking for lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, which are 2 of the major probiotics that are in most of the probiotics you'll find on the market. They're very common, so that's good. So you don't have to find like a special type. It's a common one that's in most of them. So loading up on probiotics, it's going to help your gut and help your immune system fight off that infection. If you don't want to take a probiotic capsule, you can use yogurt, you can use kimchi, sauerkraut, those types of things, but you will need to consume quite a lot of those foods. I would suggest like having those foods after you get better. While you're sick, kind of boost yourself up with a good amount of probiotics, and then kind of use foods to maintain it afterwards. Next up is bone broth. So bone broth is made from cooking bones, and it extracts all the really good amino acids that help to fortify your immune system. That's why sometimes you see bone broth, and when it's cold, it's kind of like jelly. It's not quite liquid, and it's not only going to be good for your gut, like we discussed, your gut health is connected to your immune health, but like I said, those amino acids are really good for your lymphocytes. It's really good to drink something warm too when you're sick, and if your throat is sore, it's also going to be nice to have something warm. So this can be a really great option. You can make it at home yourself, or you can buy it out. I also really like the Kettle and Fire brand. And you definitely want to make sure that your bones are organic, because when we're cooking them out and all that stuff is getting extracted from the bones, if there's lots of harmful stuff in those bones, then you're going to consume it along with that. So just make sure that your bones are organic, and bones can be very inexpensive at your local grocery store. You can even ask the butcher for leftover bones. They're usually only like $3-4. So next up is coconut oil, and the great thing about coconut oil is it's actually an antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral. So no matter what type of sickness you have, it's going to help you. You can put this in your coffee, you can just cook with it, you can consume spoonfuls of it. Any way you can want to get it in general is going to be good, but it definitely is something that covers all your bases, and it's something really easy to incorporate into lots of different foods and things. The next one is more to stay away from, and that is to stay away from sugars. So basically, sugars, while you're sick, feed the viruses and the bacteria. It's literally fuel for them, because sugar gets broken down into glucose, and that glucose is fuel. So you're basically feeding your cold or your flu if you're consuming lots of sugary things. And this also includes like sugary candies or eating lots of like high sugar foods. You definitely want to stay less away from sugar. Next up is ginger, and ginger is great because it has a compound called gingerol, and it's a great anti-inflammatory. It's great at fighting infection and being good for your immune system. You can put ginger in your tea. It's also super affordable. You can just go to the grocery store and pick up some ginger root. You can also make your own ginger shots. So what I like to do is I simply grate up some ginger really easy, and then I run it through a nut milk bag. You can also run it through cheesecloth. I've even done it through paper towel, and that works, although the paper towel does absorb some of the liquid, but it will drip still. And this is an easy way to make ginger shots at home. If you're nauseous also, if it's more of like a flu than a cold, the ginger is going to help with that. Ginger helps with headaches as well as any pain. So any kind of muscle aches or anything like that you're experiencing, ginger is going to be super, super helpful. Next up is Manuka honey, and Manuka honey is a special type of honey that has medicinal qualities. So normal honey still has like antibacterial properties, but the Manuka honey is kind of like one step further. It's one step up. And Manuka honey, you definitely want to consume both Manuka, or if you're just having regular honey raw. If you do put the honey into scalding hot tea, which I see a lot of people do, you're actually killing all of the benefits from the honey. So it's better to take a spoonful, and even by taking a spoonful, it kind of coats your throat. So if you have a cough, if you have a sore throat, it can be really good for that as well. But it's also an antibacterial and antimicrobial, so honey is really good. And if you can do Manuka honey as opposed to a normal honey, that's even better. Next up is apple cider vinegar, another really great inexpensive thing to do. And what it does is it helps to thin the mucus. So if you have a lot of phlegm and everything is congested in your head and in your throat, it can help thin it out so that you can get it out. Because essentially you want to get all that mucus and gunk out of your system so it's not staying there and breeding and multiplying. So that helps to get it out. And they've also shown that consuming apple cider vinegar actually shortens the duration of your cold. So you can consume a couple tablespoons 2 or 3 times a day, whether in water, you can put a little bit in tea and sip it like in your tea. Kind of up to you. I prefer shots because I don't like the taste so much sipping it constantly, so I just do shots. But it's really great, and especially a lot of us already have apple cider vinegar on hand. It's a great thing to do if you need to thin that mucus. Next up are mushrooms. So these are your normal kind of mushrooms that you would use in cooking. And the great thing about mushrooms is that they are loaded with something called beta glucans, which actually upregulate IgA and IgG, which are 2 antibodies in our body that help to fight off infection. So consuming these, whether you're in a stir fry or in a salad, mushrooms are a great thing to add when you're trying to boost your immune system and really help support it to help fight off infection. And lastly are good old lemons. Lemons are loaded with vitamin C. In fact, half a lemon has 1/3 of your vitamin C for the day, and it's low sugar. So remember before I talked about we don't want to bombard our system with too much sugar. And oranges tend to have a lot of sugar. So you're getting that vitamin C, but you do also get a lot of sugar, which kind of feeds the bacteria. With lemons, they're low sugar and you get that vitamin C. They taste great in tea or just in room temperature water. Either way, loading up on lemons is going to be a great way to support your immune system. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any other topics like this that you'd like me to do videos on, just comment that down below and I can definitely do that. But I love things like this because a lot of these foods are easily accessible, they're inexpensive, and they're gonna make a world of difference when you're trying to get better. So that's what I love about them. I hope you guys are all having a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.